A quick update of what's happening in Nyeri, rather. The Central Region Asks Show opens its doors to the public today amidst concerns of the changing weather patterns that have affected farming in the area. Another conversation we were having this morning during the food security and drought issue. All
right, so here's more about the ASK Show. Now, a heavy hailstorm destroyed crops on demonstration plots last weekend, highlighting the new climatic challenges that farmers are now having to cope with. Let's now bring in our Martin Munene, who is live for us at the show's Karibuni grounds. Martin, tell us about the climatic challenges that has affected that particular area.
All right, a very good morning to you in studio. And like you say, it's a discussion that a lot of people are having because the weather is no longer what we used to know, or as it was in days past, where it was very predictable. Now, for example, where I stand this morning, it's in a place where that has been used for a very long time as an exhibition, area where plants are actually grown. And now, when farmers come to this particular show, they are able to see what they can do to ensure that their farms are actually okay. And now what happened here last weekend is that there was a hailstorm that left a layer of what we could call snow-like features in this particular area. And what happened is that these plants were destroyed, and so there was nothing much that this particular area, or they could have done in this particular area. Now what they're doing is that they're trying to salvage this particular situation by making sure that farmers who actually come have a chance to learn through a conference of what to do when weather patterns change. Now, I don't know if you can be able to see, but a bit far from where I stand, there's what we call a greenhouse. And inside that greenhouse, because we visited, we saw that the plants there are fine, but everything else that is out here has been destroyed. Now, you can imagine a farmer, for example, who had farmed. Now, this was supposed to be a farm that has tomatoes, but as you can see, they're just stalks that are left here because after what happened, I think as the viewers can see some of the pictures, what happened, there was a layer of snow, if you like. And so what happened is that after the snow melted and everything was gone, what was left is only a remnant of the bad weather. Now, this discussion, of course, is very important because, as you know, Nyeri County is one of the counties that a lot of the people who live here depend on agriculture. The majority of residents here are purely farmers. Therefore, changes or trends changing when it comes to the weather, then it becomes a little bit challenging for them, and therefore it is important for them to have somebody who can talk about it. And so this year, one of the things that this particular ASK show is trying to do is have a conversation about climate change. But over and above that, they're trying to also teach farmers how they can use technology to make sure that they can be able to, cover themselves or protect themselves from such changes, because this was something that wasn't expected. It is something that has not been happening. It's not a norm, and therefore once it happened, this is the aftermath, and nobody expected it. A lot of people took pictures all over social media, people asking whether this is now the new norm or what would happen. But ideally, as much as Nyeri is a cold county most of the time, it has never reached to that place whereby we are seeing after rains we have what we can describe as snow or hail. It has never happened before, and therefore it is something very new. It happens at times in a county near here, Nyandarua, or in areas such as Nyahururu once in a while, but still for Nyeri it has not happened. Therefore this is a very important conversation that is going to be taking place in this particular year's ASK show, and therefore we're going to be following it to just hear what the experts have to say. Is this a thing that should be expected to happen again, or is this just a once in a lifetime occurrence, maybe something that just happened? So we're yet to find out that, but what we can say is that the ASK show this year, one of the things that they're really focusing on is that conversation. What should farmers do when weather changes or when things happen in a way that they have not happened before? And from Nyeri County, I bring it back to you in studio. I'm Martin Munene.
Wow,
exactly.
I must say those pictures are really fascinating. Yeah. One would be convinced to think that is somewhere in the United States.
They paint an image perfectly.
Yes, of exactly what happened. And remember, we had the climate change expert on our discussion. We're talking about food security, and she was talking about how expect the weather to get more and more erratic as the days. In fact, she says she's been working for the Met Department for the last 8 years. She's never seen weather like the kind of weather we've had in 2019, where the rains that were supposed to happen between March and May did not happen. Another one, I think June, July also didn't happen. We've seen cold weather in May and June, whereas we knew cold weather would happen in July, September.
Thank you.
December might be cold at this rate.
Yes.
You know, so you know what an interesting time we live in terms of climatic patterns.
Even the winter, because generally countries along the equator don't have seasons, but the winter, the cold weather, this year started way later on. You'll find like around March, May, April, March, April, May. It was still too hot for May.
Yes. We did have a very hot first part of the year.
Exactly.
I agree with that. Yes.
Exactly. So climate change is going to make matters a bit worse. Of course, as a country, as a humanity, really, we've come a bit, we've progressed when it comes to climate change, but a lot more needs to be done. And speaking of that, we need to take a quick commercial break. We'll let you know what more we have for you and touch base with other reporters across the field.